Yeah. The Chargers are back. The Chargers are back. Yeah. The Chargers are back. Welcome to Chargers Talk 4630. Say what's up to Stacy, the host. Always keeping it real though. Rocking with the Chargers since 78. From San Diego up to 5 Mount LA State. Powder blues clean. Don't let the colors fool you. Jim Harbaugh running the show. Yeah, the coach is brutal. Back to back double-digit wins. Set the tone. Lost a few pieces, but we locked in. Fully loaded zone. Eyes on the future. Yeah, we speak it into heaven. Super Bowl is so far. 2027. I'm saying your team sidelines nervous. Yeah, they know what it be. Mike McDaniel in the offense scheming like demons, huh? Chris O'Leary in the building. Defense! Defense! Year 3 about to tell us what this team really meant. Playoff run longer, yeah, we put them to sleep. If you want Chargers everything, this is the place to be. Chargers Talk 4630. Nobody's got it better than us. Hey, share and subscribe. Enjoy the show.
This episode of Chargers Talk 4630 is brought to you by Zevo Life, the exclusive patented superfood changing the way people fuel their bodies. Now listen, if you're looking for a game-changing way to improve your health, Zevo Life is the world's most nutrient-dense whole plant. We're talking over 50% plant protein, essential amino acids, fiber, and powerful antioxidants, all in one natural source. Just 1 teaspoon a day supports your gut, boosts your energy, and promotes healthier skin and hair. And the best part, people everywhere are giving it a 5-star review because it works. So if you're ready to feel the difference, head over to Zevo.life and start your journey with their 30-day risk-free guarantee. And because you're a loyal listener of this podcast, you get an exclusive 30% discount. Just use my code ChargeTalk4630 at checkout. That's without the R. That's ChargeTalk4630. Take control of your health today with Zevo Life. Your body will thank you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Charger Nation. Welcome back to Chargers Talk 4630. I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in this morning. Whether you're listening on your way to work, sitting at home with your coffee, or just checking in to see what's going on with Stacy and Chargers Talk 4630, I thank you for being here. Now, I know it's been a while since the last episode, and some of you might have been wondering where I've been over the past month or so. And the truth is, I stepped away intentionally. Ever since the Super Bowl ended, the NFL calendar really hit that quiet period, right? There were no games, no major signings, no real movement around the league. And I didn't want to come on here just to fill in some time talking about rumors and making up stories just for the sake of putting out content. That's not what I want to do. When we come on, we're here to talk about real football news, real Chargers analysis, real moves that actually impact this team, right? And now today's breaking news, now that free agency is getting underway and teams are starting to make moves. The Chargers have officially made their first significant signing of the offseason. The Chargers have now signed former Dallas Cowboy and former Washington Commander center Tyler Biadasz to replace recently retired Bradley Bozeman. Now let me explain something. This move might not be the one everyone was expecting. It may not be the flashiest one of the offseason, but it might be one of the smartest moves that the Chargers could make while they begin the process of rebuilding the offensive line and protecting quarterback Justin Herbert. Because if there's one thing we know in the NFL is this: games are won and lost in the trenches. And in this segment today, I'm going to try to break down why Tyler Biadasz might be the perfect fit at center, why the Chargers passed on the more expensive option, what this move means for Justin Herbert, and what the Chargers still need to do in this free agency period. I would also like to talk about the big decision that the Chargers have coming up involving Khalil Mack, whether bringing him back makes sense at this stage in his career, and what other pass rushing options might still be out there. So, Charger fans, we got a lot to talk about this morning, but before we get into it, if I can ask you for a favor, and that is to help this podcast continue to grow. And how do you do that? Simple. Just like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and tell other Charger fans that might not have heard about us yet. All right, so let's get into it. So we finally have entered that time where there's actually football activity. Free agency is officially starting next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right? The draft is getting closer. Teams are beginning to make moves, and the Chargers have officially made their first move of the offseason. So let's start with the basics. The Chargers needed a new center after Bradley Bozeman retired, and thank God for that, right? That left a major hole right in the middle of the offensive line, and when you're talking about protecting a quarterback like Justin Herbert, the center position is extremely important. The center position is responsible for calling out protections, identifying defensive fronts, communicating with the offensive line, anchoring the pocket from the middle, right? So you need someone who is smart, reliable, and experienced. And that's exactly what the Chargers got with Tyler Biadasz. Now Biadasz is a 6-year NFL veteran who came into the league with the Cowboys before spending the last 2 seasons with the Washington Commanders. Across his career, he started 84 games, which tells you something right away. Coaches trust him. He's dependable. And in this league, availability matters. Now, here's a statistic that really caught my attention. Last season, Tyler Biadasz allowed 0 quarterback hits across 521 pass blocking snaps. That's 0. Let me say that again. That's 0 quarterback hits, 521 pass attempts. That's crazy good to me, right? Not 1 quarterback hit allowed. And when you look at the past 2 seasons combined, he's gone 2 full seasons without allowing a hit on the quarterback from the center position. That's not just good, that's extremely impressive. In today's NFL, interior pressure is one of the fastest ways to disrupt the quarterback. Edge rushers get a lot of attention, but pressure right up the middle can destroy an offense, right? So the fact that Biadasz has been that reliable in pass protection is a huge plus for the Chargers. Overall, he finished with a 70.7 grade and ranked 11th amongst all centers in the league. This is huge for Charger fans after 2 years of Bradley Bozeman. And that's exactly the type of player you want anchoring your offensive line. Now, a lot of Charger fans were talking about another name as well. And that name was Tyler Linderbaum for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Linderbaum is one of the best centers in football. I'll give you that. Hey, guys, I got to put you on to something I've been checking out. It's a company called Distill Union. They make these slick, minimalistic wallets and magnetic key organizers, right? That just makes life easier. And get this, I've got an exclusive 20% off just for you. All you got to do is go to DistillUnion.com, make your purchase, and don't forget, when you check out, use my code ChargeTalk4630. I earn a small commission when you use my code, so when you buy, you're not only supporting me and the show, you're getting the best deal they offer. But the price tag that was being discussed was somewhere between $22 and $25 million per year. That would make him the highest paid center in the NFL. Now, here's where smart roster building comes into play. Instead of spending that money on one player, Chargers general manager Joe Ortiz went in a total different direction, and I like it. He signed Tyler Biadasz to a 3-year, $30 million deal. That averages to be $10 million per season. So instead of spending $25 million on one center, you're getting a top 11 center, right, for less than half the price. That's the type of move that allows you to keep building the rest of the roster. And when you look at what the Chargers are trying to do this offseason, I think it's clear. Protect Justin Herbert. And we already know Herbert is one of the most talented quarterbacks in football, right? But over the last few seasons, the Chargers' offensive line has struggled with injuries, and they've struggled with being consistent. So building a strong interior line is critical. You'll have your all-pro left tackle Rashawn Slater back. You'll have Pro Bowl right tackle Joe Alt back. And with Tyler Biadasz stepping in at center, that's the first step toward building that protective wall around Justin Herbert. And the Chargers still have plenty of money to keep building. And before signing Biadasz, they had between $99 to $100 million in cap space. That ended up being number 1 in the NFL, right? So this signing is likely just the beginning. Now let's talk about one of the biggest questions facing this Chargers defense. What do you do with Khalil Mack? Khalil Mack is now 35 years old, and reports are he's looking for somewhere around $18 million a season. Now let's be clear about something. Khalil Mack may not be the dominant pass rusher he once was, right? He's not the same player he was 5 or 6 years ago. We get that. But he is still extremely valuable. And one of the things that separates Khalil Mack from a lot of pass rushers around the league is that he's a complete defender. A lot of edge rushers today specialize in one thing, rushing the passer. They come into the game on third down and passing situations, right? But when it's time to defend the run, they come off the field. Khalil Mack doesn't have to come off the field. He doesn't come off the field. He is still one of the best in the league at setting the edge, stopping the run, playing disciplined outside linebacker football. So when you have a player who can rush the passer, stop the run, set the edge, and stay on the field every down, that tells you they still have a lot of value. So the question becomes this. Is he worth $18 million at age 35? That's the decision that the Chargers front office has to make. There are also a lot of other options available too. One name that's been mentioned a whole lot is Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson has been one of the most productive pass rushers in the NFL when he's healthy, right? He recorded 17 sacks 2 seasons ago before getting injured last year, and he's consistently been a player who can pressure quarterbacks. Now, he might not be as good as Khalil Mack at setting the edge and stopping the run and playing every down, but if you pair him with Tuli Tuipulotu on the other side, you could potentially have a very dangerous pass rush duo. So the Chargers do have options. And these are the kind of decisions that General Manager Joe Ortiz has to evaluate, right? And I want to give Ortiz some credit here. Over the past 2 seasons, the Chargers was dealing with a really difficult salary cap situation. They had to release productive players like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, who were still playing at high levels then. Not because he wanted to, but because he had to. Now the team is finally in a position where they have financial flexibility. And the first move of this new phase is very smart. Instead of overpaying for a center, they sign a top 11 center in Tyler Biadasz for half the cost. That's how you build a roster right away. So Charger fans, this offseason is just getting started. The first piece of the puzzle is now in place with Tyler Biadasz anchoring the center position now. But there's still work to do. The Chargers still need possibly 2 guards, depth at linebacker, a defensive tackle that can play a lot of snaps next to T.R. Tart, right? And possibly another edge rusher depending on how they handle Dafio Way and Khalil Mack situation, and maybe safety and corner if they see an upgrade there. But if this first move is any indication, Joe Ortiz and the Chargers front office are approaching the offseason smart and with a plan. And it all starts with building that wall in front of Justin Herbert. All right, Charger fans, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of Chargers Talk 4630. And as always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. I'd love to hear what you think. Do you like the Tyler Biadasz signing? Do you bring back Khalil Mack? Or do you go after another pass rusher? And what about Dafio Way? Drop your thoughts and let's talk Chargers football. You can also find me on X at Retired26997, TikTok at Boat Forever, and Instagram at Chargers Talk 4630. Have an awesome day. I'll see you in the next episode, and boat up.
Chargers Talk 4630.